Regrets will follow you. There's blood on our hands. Way back, in ages before vampires and doppelgangers, there is a girl far too beautiful, with doe eyes and warm skin and hair soft to the touch. Her name is Amara, and she's the child of powerful magic. Her blood will flow through every page in history. She will be the first, the catalyst. But for now, she's barely woman and is innocent in the evils of the world. When she becomes of age, she's taken to the elder of her family, her great-great-grandmother, to have her fortune read. The old woman was more skin than person, and her sightless blue eyes peered into Mara's very soul. No man will resist you, and people will flock to your cause. You'll be the rise and fall of empires. Blood will spill in your name. Her words echoed and were filled with power. Will I find love? She dares to ask, for finding a love like the ones her parents shared was all she desired. Yes, the woman answers. Then I will be powerful and happy. The girl grins. I am blessed. No, foolish girl. The crone shakes her head. You are cursed. Years pass, and the girl forgets her warnings until she lies bleeding at the feet of the one she cared most for. Her dearest friend and the woman she betrayed spares no more than a passing glance at her. It is what she deserves. Silas, the man she once thought she loved, screams her name even as they seal him into his prison. I have brought this upon myself. She thinks about the words, about the child who waits for her at the house of her sister, about the years she will never have. I will not forget. She clenches her jaw. We will not forget. She dies young and beautiful. She dies so very young. Tatia is born with faint whispers of the warnings. She does not listen. She is born into a world that is cold and cruel. Her parents slave away to starve of starvation. She works harder than Amara ever dreamed of. Her hands are calloused and strong. She has no time for strange dreams in ancient tongues where she is dressed in silk and draped in gold. She has no true magic like the wife of Michael. She's no shifter like the wolves. She's nothing special, and so the dreams are nothing but imaginings. When she is old enough, she is apprenticed to the wise woman of the village, one who uses the herbs and faint trace of magic to heal the sick and birth healthy children into the world. She learns many things from the woman and is a dutiful student. That is why she is brought along when Michael's wife births the youngest son. It is where she meets Elijah and Nick, where the beginning of the end comes about. The whispers warn her. They try to stray her from secret meetings and stolen kisses, but she does not listen. Her parents do not know, but her mother suspects something. It is why her father arranges for her to marry a man that lives across the settlement from the boys. She does not love him, but she tries to. She falls pregnant quickly, which begins a long period of the separation. She must not stray far from home, lest Tom begin to question her honor. She births a daughter, and her husband lights up with joy. It is almost enough to make her love him. She grows fond, nevertheless. The winter came, and all of its tears. She's left widowed less than 3 years into her marriage. She cries because he was a good man and deserved a wife much better than her. She cries for her daughter who'll never know the father who would sing to her or rock her to sleep. Her mourning lasts a year, a good proper time. The men in the village may not let widows and orphans starve, so they drop food off in bundles by the door. And so 4 years pass before she sees Elijah and Nick once more. She will not marry a man she does not love again. She cares not for the looks the people will give her. Neither will she live on the charity of her neighbors. She goes back to her master and asks for more training. The old woman gives her a good look before accepting. She's growing too old for her job anyway. With this, Tatia gives her former home to her parents, for it is better crafted than the tiny hut they dwelled in. She moves herself and her daughter into the home of the old woman. Nick chances across her when she's getting water one day. It reignites a fire she thought long burned to nothing. She learns more of them and loves them even deeper. She cannot choose and she cannot let them go. In her dreams, a woman with her face cries for her. When Nick comes to her, grief etched into his face, she opens her arms to him. She doesn't know it is the last time she will hold him. Again, their blood is spilled upon the ground. Nick and Elijah will find her after. They will cradle her, cry, and it will cut them deeper than they have ever felt. They bury her in a field of flowers. Her child grows far away, aching for a mother she will never know. Katerina is not foolish and learns to be very early. She's not born into the warm family her previous incarnations bore. She doesn't discount her instincts so easily. Her father's temper must be carefully managed. She has scars to remind her of her missteps. Unfortunately, she grows cold and alone. She grasps for connection sometimes, the loneliness overcoming her sense. Her dreams are strange places and languages she cannot place. She loves and loses and does it all over again. She favors a few taverns spread out amongst the homeland, places where no man or boy will know her. She drinks tea to handle any results of her activities. Then she falls ill and misses a dose. It is far too late when she realizes, and her face is bruised for weeks when her father finds out. She births a daughter, and it is the beginning of the end. She does not get to hold her before her father takes her child, which she will never find. He does not wait for the sun to rise to tell her she will leave as soon as she is able. They send her to England, where she quickly learns to hide her accent and origins. She charms her way into becoming a companion for a young widow, earning her spot into society. She is invited along to a party when she meets the Michelsons. They're charming, handsome, and they make her heart flutter. She's wary, but her treacherous heart is her undoing. She never forgets the look of shock when they attempt to compel her, and she brushes it off like nothing. She never forgets the crack of her neck and how death crawled across her soul. She dies and is reborn with a desperate wish. Let the next one be better. Then she forgets her dreams and gifts, because the girl she once was dead, and the gift must be passed on to the next. Her body lives on, an eternity within her grasp, but her heart dies a lonely death, its potential never realized. Finally, Elena is born, with old eyes and a broken heart and love despite all her pain, against all the odds of the universe. She will be the last. Elena knows from the start that she cannot be foolish, that she must trust her instinct, and that she cannot lose her kindness. A lesson has been learned from all of her past mistakes. She will prevail, and she will pick her battles wisely. There is already enough blood on their hands. Her dreams warn her. Wisely she does not shake off the chills they leave behind. She drinks her rain tea every day from the age of 10 and devours lore that she only barely managed to hide from her parents, the trigger memories that have fallen through the cracks. Knowledge is power, and she has centuries of it running through her veins. She faces otherwise, even the jaws of grief. It isn't wise to dip her hand early. She never becomes numb to the feeling, no matter how heavy her soul grows. It is strange how even with all her gifts, she's still a child who's lost people she loved dearly. She falls for Stefan because she knows it will not last. He's a balm to force her back into the living, to soothe her pain back into something manageable. Perhaps it makes her like Catherine, but it doesn't make her love any less. Then a ghost comes for her, a face she knows as well as her own because it is hers. Katerina. She meets the eyes of her double without a hint of fear. How do you know that name? Catherine is shaken. Elena was not supposed to be like this with such ancient eyes. You have forgotten us, but we have not forgotten you, daughter. The endearment rolls off Elena's tongue so sincerely that Catherine flinches. You are not ready to accept your peace, Elena, Tati and Mar sigh, but we will be waiting when your war is done. Catherine is gone in a flash and doesn't return for many years. Her plans are forgotten as she's forced to remember a girl who just wanted a home to belong to. Isabel comes, with taunts and warnings about a monster. She withers under Elena's gaze. She disappears with a fear embedded deeply into her heart. She never returns. Elena does not fear Klaus, for her worst enemies are dead or buried. He comes for her blood, and she has already been down that road twice before. She is used to the feeling of her life staining her hands and feet. Cannot fear the boy who once spilled his secrets to them, the one who cried on their shoulders, the one who held them at night. Elena cannot love him as Tatia did, but she will never fear him. She cannot fear death when he has always been curled within her. Elena meets the brother of her supposed devil, and her heart is taken from her. It is not the infatuation that Tatia had, or the warmth Catherine felt. Elena knows better. It is not nostalgia clouding her, for they're both different people despite the faces remaining the same. Even when he betrays her, she forgives him, because it was for family. Family, honor, duty. She lives by these words. She will not be the girls of her past. She lives because of his gift, and not because of a sacrifice. So much blood, and she loves him more than she can imagine for this. When he's free, her first love will not be of her face, but of her kindness and strength. He's helpless to the feeling of it. Together, they will form a better world. She and Klaus will have a peace they will keep without all the bloodshed and broken treaties. Though they never voice it, they grow into something like friends. Her ghost will rest easy and fade from her, finally able to rest. Catherine will come home to a pardon from the ever so gracious Klaus and leave Damon by her side. This is the peace she has longed for. Their curse has been broken. Silas was spent forever in his tomb, unable to let go of his obsession. Even without her past selves, Elena will watch carefully over his watery grave, for some monsters should never wake, and that one never does.